James Gunn is blowing the doors of the DCU wide open, and this week's episode 6 of Peacemaker is going to pack a massive punch. And I'm not just talking Superman or Lex Luthor, I'm talking about some Creature Commandos. Hello everyone, welcome to Digital Charcuterie. My name is James. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new to the channel and a fan of the DCU and Peacemaker, hit that subscribe button. I talk about it and discuss it with you all the time right here on the channel. Let me know your thoughts of Peacemaker Season 2 in the comments down below. Today, just want to go off the rails a little bit. Want to talk some Blue Beetle. I want to talk some Lex Luthor. And I want to talk about a theory that a friend sent over to me that I thought was really cool. And I think this is where they might be going with Peacemaker Season 2 because it's just too awesome not to do.
We are insane.
It's time to dip peace in our morning coffee because we got a whole lot of awesomeness to talk about going into Peacemaker Episode 6, Ignorance is Chris. If you haven't seen Peacemaker Episode 5 yet, hit that pause button and go watch it. I'll see you in about an hour. About a month or so ago, James Gunn teased quite heavily that we'd see Blue Beetle in the DCU sooner than later. We all guessed he was referring to Peacemaker, and after episode 5, that seems to be the case. We got to talk about Sasha Bordeaux because we find out that she's rocking cybernetic tech, and instantly we were all like, oh damn, this is OMAC. That's the first domino because in the comics, OMAC ties directly into Brother Eye, into Checkmate, and into these massive DCU crossover events. Gunn didn't just throw that in there for Flavor Flav, he's building connective tissue. And that was our first little hint that Blue Beetle would be on his merry way into Peacemaker, into the DCU officially. Gunn's obviously teased his appearance, like I said. We know he wants Charlton characters in the mix, and the Scarab's advanced alien tech syncing or clashing with Bordeaux's OMAC cybernetics, that's literally the perfect in. That's your setup for a Reyes cameo later this season. But that's not the main course of this whole video. I really want to talk about something else that I just thought was really cool, and it's showing that James Gunn has a big, massive plan. The real meat of where this is going is heading to Creature Commandos and Earth X. So, Earth X, I did a video on it a little while ago, but to recap, is the Earth where the Nazis won World War II. Straight up, it's one of the darkest corners of the DC multiverse, and it makes perfect sense for Gunn to use it here. Why? Because Peacemaker's dad, his own father, is a white supremacist. We dealt with that in Season 1. That ideology shaped Chris's trauma, his whole identity. So, what's the most messed up, gut-wrenching way to push that even further in Season 2? Throw him into a dimension where his dad's worldview isn't fringe, it's the reality. Now, here's where it's going to go a little wild. And this, I got to be honest with you, is not my theory. A friend emailed me this the other day. He said that he heard this somewhere online, and he just typed it up for me. So I don't know where it came from. Respect to the person who came up with this, but this is a theory going around, and I just really want to talk about it. In this other dimension, not only is Peacemaker's dad alive, but his brother is too. And together they're part of the fascist superhero squad called the Top Trio. Imagine that. The dad he hated, the brother he accidentally killed in his timeline, standing side by side, beloved heroes of a Nazi Earth. That's the kind of twist, psychological warfare that breaks Peacemaker down to his core. And that is where Creature Commandos is going to come in. In the trailers, we've seen clips and footage where Rick Flag Sr. says, hey, I got to go to Belle Reve. I've got to talk to somebody. The theory goes that he's going there to find the Nazi-hating war robot himself, G.I. Robot. If you've seen Creature Commandos, you are all in. You know exactly where this is going. If you haven't seen Creature Commandos, G.I. Robot was one of the best characters in this series. Now, spoilers if you haven't seen Creature Commandos. If you want to see it, go check it out. But if not, I got to talk about spoilers for that series right now. G.I. Robot he gets blasted away. He gets killed off pretty early in the series, but he's awesome. He just wants to kill Nazis. His directive is to wipe out Nazis. Whenever he hears anything about Nazis, he goes guns a-blazing and wipes anything and anyone out that has any association with Nazis. The cool part with G.I. Robot is because he's a robot, he gets revived at the end and he's kind of brought back to life, which, you know, is one of Gunn's rules not to do that, but he is a robot at the end of the day and it seems very likely. But he's also like more enhanced and he's definitely been upgraded to like a superior G.I. Robot by the end of that, which is really cool. But again, his association with the Nazi, with killing Nazis, and you have Peacemaker's dad, Augie Smith, his love of Nazis, him being that, and the Earth X, this other dimension that they are in, looking like it's going to pave the way for that. It seems like bringing G.I. Robot into it would actually be a very perfect fit. And the fact that it plays into all these characters, the fact that he was able to use this world and then combine Creature Commandos with Peacemaker, if this is the case, again, it's a big if, but I really like this theory a lot. If they do that, that would be the ultimate connective tissue between properties. Because if you don't know Creature Commandos, I still believe you can find a way to bring in G.I. Robot and have the new audience, the audience that isn't familiar with him, know exactly who G.I. Robot is, what he stands for, and what his directive is. I don't think there would be any issue with that at all. You got Rick Flag scene, like, I got to go to Belle Reve and talk to somebody. Who? G.I. Robot. Why? He kills Nazis. Okay. The question, of course, to get to that, and this is where I'm not really sure how this theory gets there, is why would Rick Flag need to go to Belle Reve to get G.I. Robot for another dimension? Is he going to concern himself with another dimension? His concern is the dimensional rift, right? Not letting that rift open because of what Luthor did. It could suck the world in and all that stuff. So I'm not really sure why he would go to help Peacemaker, unless, of course, that's towards the end of the season and there's something like that. We know James Gunn has said there'll be massive cameos in episode 6 and some cameos in episode 8. He hasn't touched on 7 that much, so I'm thinking 7's kind of the low-key episode, well, as low-key as Peacemaker gets kind of episode. I do think, though, that, I mean, I really like the G.I. Robot angle a lot, but I do think that Lex Luthor is coming into this. I really believe that Lex Luthor is going to come in, because who knows the interdimensional portal stuff better than Lex Luthor? He's been name dropped way too many times in this season. I feel like he's going there. Now, Belle Reve is not where Lex Luthor would be. Lex Luthor would most likely be at the Stryker's Island Penitentiary. That's where he's usually kept in the comics. It hasn't been referenced from what I remember in the new DCU yet, but I would assume he would be there. So Rick Flag Sr. wouldn't go to Belle Reve for him. I think, like, it's still the G.I. Robot thing I still like a lot. It could be G.I. Robot. It could be Bloodsport too. I really kind of wish we get Bloodsport. James Gunn said he wants to work with him again. Idris Elba, that is. So I can see that happening. And besides all of that, who better to get to bring Peacemaker in, to pull him back in when completely necessary, than the man who sort of kind of pseudo killed him in the first place? As I think Bloodsport would be cool in this. But I think we're going to get Lex Luthor in this. I think we're going to go to Stryker Island Penitentiary, and I think we're going to get Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor. And I don't think he's going to be in it for a lot. I don't think he's going to be a main character or whatnot. I mean, it would be cool if he got added to the opening dance sequence. I don't think that's going to be the case. But I think he's going to be more of a Hannibal Lecter type character for Rick Flag Sr. Rick Flag Sr. is going to probably, because Rick Flag Sr. is dealing with the gray, right? He's not totally kosher here. So I think he's going to go to Lex. He's going to make a deal with Lex, and Lex is going to play along with his little game. And that's going to be the catalyst to get him out, to help him do what he needs to do to work side by side with Superman in Man of Tomorrow. Don't forget, James Gunn has referred to season 2 of Peacemaker as a prequel to Man of Tomorrow. Now, I think that is tongue-in-cheek. I think because Peacemaker 2 comes out before Man of Tomorrow, that it is technically a prequel to Man of Tomorrow. But that being said, we all know that Peacemaker Season 2 is leading us into the bigger storyline of the DCU. Superman kind of got us in the door, and now Peacemaker Season 2 is walking us through the hallways of where we need to go. So yeah, I really wanted to talk about the Blue Beetle connection, because James Gunn did tease right away that Blue Beetle was going to be in Season 2 of Peacemaker. He didn't come out and say it, but he told a reporter, you're going to be pretty happy. So you know he's going to come, and then you got the OMAC stuff with Sasha Bordeaux, and you're like, okay, I see what we're doing here. We're going to get in there. And then, of course, Creature Commandos tie-in. This theory, it's not rock solid, I don't think, but I think it is a fantastic theory, and it really works with all the connective tissues, bringing Creature Commandos, which is a fantastic show, and G.I. Robot, and you play with, like, and you keep the characters the same. I've been saying since my first review of Peacemaker that dimension, the characters, the dad and the brother, they seem off, right? If the dad was a white supremacist in the right dimension, he'd probably be the same in the new dimension as well, because you think that characters and their traits would mostly be the same. You see Rick Flag Sr. is still kind of the same, or Jr. is still kind of a Rick Flag Jr. However, he's a little bit toned down and kind of nerdier because of being Earth X, because of the situation that he is put in. They have to adapt to those. But so I think someone like Augie Smith would thrive in this new dimension. And just the fact that he's able to do this and layer it, and obviously bring Robert Patrick back, who's fantastic, and layer it like this, and then you can bring in your Creature Commandos, your Nazi-hating character that you already have established in your storyline, to come in and team up with Peacemaker and Eagly, of course, because Eagly is now a superhero. You have that all combined. I just think that's brilliant, and I want to talk about that with you. And then Lex Luthor being the Hannibal Lecter, possibly later on in the season as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you liking Peacemaker Season 2? Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really appreciate your time. Hit the like button and subscribe button. And until next time, may you be the master of your own universe.